Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by STEPH. What up, bruh?
What up?
And STEPH is a huge Marvel fan. A fan of a lot of things, but she seems to know a lot about Marvel, and so I thought this would be a fun one. Did you enjoy Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
I liked it. It was a fun movie.
That's a great pause response. I think that's exactly the response I had, because my brother had the camera in my face because it was his screening that he invited me to. He's like, how did you feel about it? I'm like, I liked it. In my review, I said it was both a great film and the worst film. Because Eddie and Venom, I love that relationship.
Yeah.
The movie otherwise is terrible. To me. I just didn't think it was a good movie, but I would go back and watch that 8 more times for Eddie and Venom.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a fun watch, but I really feel like it was meant for kids to think that they're getting away with watching something more violent than it actually is.
Okay.
If I was a kid, I'd be like, this is awesome! But now I'm just like, okay, you're skipping so much. It was so jumpy.
It was 90 minutes.
Yeah.
My brother said, it felt like I saw a 2.5-hour film in 90 minutes. But anyway, we got Venom, Let There Be Carnage pitch meeting. So, Screen Rant, thank you for allowing us to react to this. If you guys don't know, I've said it many times, so I apologize if you heard it already. We have an interview with Ryan George on this channel. If you'd like to check that out, please do. There'll be a link in the description, in the pinned comment, and the button at the end of the video. Ryan George is awesome. Also subscribe to Ryan George's YouTube channel. He's got a lot of great non-movie related content there. So, have you seen pitch meetings?
No.
Okay, this is gonna be great.
So, you have a Venom sequel for me?
Yes, sir, I do. And this is the second movie in a series where the protagonist has powers, so you know what that means.
He's gonna lose his powers for a little bit?
He's gonna lose his powers for a little bit.
Oh boy, that never gets old. Wait, that hasn't gotten old, has it?
Oh, absolutely not, sir. I guarantee it. Although, keep in mind, I have no idea, and there's no way I can guarantee that.
Works for me.
Does that happen a lot?
That they lose their powers? Yeah, I feel like that's...
Maybe it happened in Spider-Man, with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2. He was having issues with his powers.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember other sequels where that's happened, where they just lose their powers for no apparent reason, other than maybe Spider-Man. But anyway,
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. But you guys, tell me in the comments. I don't know when that happens.
So we're gonna meet this crazy serial killer guy, Cletus Cassidy, right?
Right? Woody Harrelson in a terrible wig. We introduced him in the last
I
movie.
agree.
Yeah, but people seem to be distracted by that wig, so I figure we swap it out for another wig that's, just as distracting.
I love it.
And so this guy, he's really into Eddie Brock.
Why?
Because.
Does he know about Venom?
He doesn't.
Okay.
So Cletus wants to make this deal with Eddie where he'll give him the exclusive story of his life.
You seem very frustrated by this fact.
Yes, I think it's masterful when a film connects everything that's mentioned in the beginning and then the end of the film, and that I was waiting for the connection, and it's just it was a giveaway line at the end, I wanted to be your friend, but why?
Yeah.
Could it have meant something a little bit more? I wish they were connected familial wise or something.
It's in the hour that got cut.
Yeah, it's on the floor.
Somewhere on the editing room floor.
Where he'll give him the exclusive story of his life if he agrees to publish this message for his girlfriend Shriek.
Right.
And Eddie's career is really in the dumps, so he really needs this to restore it.
Wait, if this guy's life story is such a big deal and he wants to get something published, shouldn't he go with a journalist whose career isn't in the dumps?
Yeah, but the thing about Eddie Brock is that he's the main character of the movie. That's a good point.
Yeah, you should go with him.
But so then after publishing his message, Eddie and Venom also pieced together where he hid these other bodies, and so they published that, and Cletus gets pissed.
Wasn't he gonna tell him his whole life story anyway?
Yes.
All right.
And so eventually Cletus manages to bite Eddie, and that's how he gets the Carnage symbiote in him.
Oh, managing to bite people is tight.
It sure is, sir. So meanwhile, during the movie, Eddie and Venom keep fighting about becoming like a crime-fighting duo, right?
Oh, they're gonna go out and fight crime?
I didn't say that. I said they'd argue about it.
Oh.
Yeah, I figure instead of doing the thing that would be super cool to watch, we can watch them bicker about doing it or not doing it. And also eating chicken and chocolate. And also Eddie's ex-fiance is engaged again, so they're gonna argue about that.
Lots of arguing.
A lot of arguing. This is basically a romantic comedy.
Oh, okay.
I did feel that. While I love the relationship with Eddie and Venom in this movie so much, it feels like the story is stalling. I don't have enough movie here, so I'm just gonna pad it out with these nonsensical bickering moments.
Yeah.
It is cool on one hand because it's you're fighting with yourself, your inner voice, which I feel like a lot of us kind of go through sometimes when we're indecisive about something or just can't figure out which way to go one way. The road less traveled, excuse me. While it's interesting, it would have been cool to see that adventure play out of them actually doing shit.
That was one of my criticisms of the film. I just feel like they went for the punchline after punchline after punchline. I get it. It is funny that this guy with a really weird voice eats chicken and chocolate and that's it. But they made that joke 6 times.
Right.
It was worth it for the rave scene.
Right.
But everything else, it was a little too much.
Ryan George's what? Like that little what? I love when he does that because it's always to the most absurd thing being told to him. It does sound kind of absurd on paper. The other film that this kind of reminds me of, like that whole like lull in the story, it reminds me of Shanghai Nights. I don't know if you saw that. It's the sequel to Shanghai Noon. There's literally a moment in the movie where Jackie Chan goes, "We're wasting time." Like the movie is literally wasting our time. And that's why Shanghai Nights was not as good as the first one. It wasn't boring here, but it does feel like there was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, no part of the movie was boring. It was just, you're not hooked to it.
So anyway, eventually all that arguing leads to them spending some time apart and Eddie not having the Venom powers, which as I mentioned might still be an interesting thing to do in a sequel.
Sure.
And so then at the same time, Cletus is about to be executed and he realizes he has this Carnage symbiote inside him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so he just goes crazy, right? He escapes from prison and along the way he kills a bunch of guards. He tears them apart, he rips their spines out and blood spurts.
PG-13.
He throws some guards off screen onto the wall. That probably
That's exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
Now that he's out of prison, he wants to go reunite with the love of his life, this lady Frances, aka Shriek.
And what's her deal?
Oh, well, she has these sonic screaming powers.
How'd you get those?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I won't.
And when she was younger, this cop, Patrick Mulligan, shot her in the eye.
Oh.
Yeah, so obviously that led to her having, a little scar and a lightly colored contact lens.
That is what happens when people get shot in the eye.
But the thing about her powers is that loud noises actually hurt symbiotes, so her screams actually hurt Carnage.
Oh, wow. So Cletus is in love with someone whose powers could destroy him. That is very compelling, very interesting situation.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but then I was like, let's not.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, let's just kind of leave it as a Chekhov's gun kind of thing for the end of the movie. I want to keep this at a tight 90.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So anyway, Carnage hacks the internet and finds out where she's being kept from some secret government files.
Oh, that plot point feels like it was written in 1996.
Thank you. So then he goes and breaks her free of where she's being held too.
Wow, so what are they gonna do now?
Oh, they have a very evil plan, sir. They want to get married and get revenge on 3 people they don't like.
What?
Yeah, see, Shriek wants revenge on the guy that made her wear the contact lens, and then Cletus wants revenge on Eddie for publishing an article after he specifically asked him to publish an article.
Right.
And Carnage, he wants revenge on Venom for,
Spawning him.
I don't know, being his dad.
What are you talking about?
Look, I just want Venom and Carnage to fight, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. No, I don't really need a good reason.
Great, because I don't have one.
That's fine.
And so then we're gonna go to this cathedral and we're gonna have this big third act fight like you've never seen before.
Oh boy, yeah.
Wait, have you seen any big budget blockbusters in the past couple years?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, then no, you have seen this before.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I disagree. I disagree with that. This is the first time I disagree with Ryan George. I felt like that fight scene was actually very well done because it could have just been nonsensical like Transformers or something. If you've seen Shang-Chi, it got a little bit, punch-explosion-y. CGI up the wazoo. Whereas here, they kept going back to their human form. And
Yeah.
I thought that was a clever play in the movie. I don't know if that was a budgetary thing or what, but I thought that made it work even more effectively because you didn't lose that human element. If you remember the Black Panther ending fight between Black Panther and Killmonger, it's like all CG. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see these faces. I want to see them fighting. Obviously, there was a time constraint there. That's not our problem, but there was a time constraint there. Like, they only had so much time to do that fight. Stuff got changed at the last second is what I understand. And so that's why it looks like that. But you miss that human element, and that's frustrating. So whereas here, they got that right, in my opinion.
The fight scenes are really good. I love the third act minus the story of it because I agree the reason why they're all there is not enough meaning to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, Woody Harrelson's character, he gave you this power so that you could escape prison.
Yeah.
Fight between protagonist and bad guy with similar powers.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, sure.
And at a certain point, the bad guys have Anne, and they're like, hey, Eddie, we're gonna kill her in front of you.
Oh, she gets killed right in front of Eddie?
You'd think so, because of the words they said, but no, they immediately climb to the top of the cathedral out of his sight.
Oh, interesting strategy.
And then Shriek ends up falling from the top of the building, and her scream makes the symbiotes disconnect from their hosts.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Eddie and Cletus also fall, but Venom manages to reconnect reconnect with Eddie before he hits the ground.
Oh, wow.
So now Carnage wants to go rebond with Cletus, and Venom has to stop him.
Is that gonna be hard to do?
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just eats him up. He's all weak now. Yum, yum, yum.
Very delicious.
So then they're about to kill Cletus, and he's like, hey, nobody asked, but I was abused, and also I wanted to be your friend.
What?
I don't know. I figured I should take a shot at making the villain sympathetic. I realized at this point in the script that I forgot to kind of develop the character.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. So anyway, then Venom bites his head off.
Oh my God.
But right before he does, we're allowed one F word in a PG-13 movie, right?
Well, you know, that depends. What F word are you talking about?
The F word?
Which one?
Like F-bomb?
Oh. Fa-bomb?
Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Anyway, so that's about it. What do you think?
Well, it's...
For bomb. Oh.
Oh my God, Fabam. I like that. I gotta figure out a way to say that. I gotta.
In casual conversation.
Just casual, like Fabam.
Fabam.
Like, you know, like it's the new Fubar. Fabam.
What do you think?
Well, it sounds like a movie, you know?
It is. Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm just a little worried, you know, the market's so saturated with superhero movies. I feel like there's nothing setting us apart, you know? Like, why should people talk about this?
Well, what if we tack on a post-credit scene where we, you know, shove Venom into the MCU?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
I wonder if that worked.
I think 100% that's the reason why the box office was as successful as it was. It's the most successful of the year.
100%, you think?
First opening weekend. I don't think 100%. I think, to what I said earlier, kids showed up.
That's some fast Asian math. She's half Japanese, in case you didn't know.
There you go. I
Or,
just
is it
calculated.
half?
It's called A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, you
25%.
25%. Oh,
And then
okay.
Lebanese.
For the post-credits thing, like that honestly was such an afterthought to me. It had already been leaked out, like everyone knew about it, and everyone's known that there's this like thing coming, and even Andy Serkis like let the cat out of the bag early. He's like, oh yeah, there's definitely a merge coming. Like there's definitely a collaboration coming. It's totally gonna happen. It's like, so by the time that happened, it's like, it was cool to see, obviously. Like, you know, I was losing my shit like everybody else in the movie. Also, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I didn't know they transported to another reality initially.
Oh, yeah.
It had to be told to me. I'm like, oh wow, I must have checked out for a second. It was a good after credit scene, nonetheless.
It was. I think that it was really cool, but people like blew up about it, and we knew this was gonna happen. Well, I don't want to say. Can we say? Okay.
We're in the end game now.
Spider-Man and Venom. That's like the biggest that's his Batman Superman.
I thought you were gonna say Batman Joker. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Batman,
that's
Superman.
but they
Okay.
yeah, more like they don't like each other.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see them play into the screen. And it will be interesting to see how much Venom is integrated into the MCU, or if it'll just be that film.
You know, I didn't think about the fact that post-credit scene would be enough to like really blow up the box office, because I just thought that everyone had like a hard-on for Venom. Like they were just really excited to see Venom again, and I didn't even consider the fact that post-credit scene would do a lot to get people's butts in the seats. That's smart.
And I think they picked a really good week, because I know they moved it up and nothing really came out that weekend that could compare to it as much.
Good strategery.
Yeah, strategery. Fabam!
Football. That's right.
Great Fabam.
Yeah, but like everything he was pointing out here was on point. I thought that it was very, very accurate. The only thing I disagreed with was the fight scene. You know, Ryan George was making this akin to all the other like monster or CGI-esque fight scenes and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that argument, but I thought they just did a really good job of it. Like, if nothing else in the movie, the relationship between Eddie and Venom was strong. That ending fight scene was strong.
Yeah.
Just like that dialogue and whatnot. I did think it was kind of weird. Like you said, he's like, I just want to be your friend. You know, what's up with that? It was just sort of random.
You're a murderer, and now you want to be my friend?
Well, you chuck it up to him being sick in the head, but I loved that the writer was like, well, you know, we're at page 90, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do character development, you know?
Which you could have thrown in any time when they were having a discussion, or through any of the imagery that, you know, that scene where Venom, which I like this scene, Venom like takes his photographic memory and draws out everything he saw in the prison cell. Mm-hmm. Like that could have been in there, integrated.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that could have just...
Yeah.
Opportunity lost the movie. Anyways, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed that, and thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure to follow STEPH SABRAW on the social media, subscribe to Screen Rant, subscribe here as well, bell icon, all notifications, vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. I'm Jaby Koay, this is
STEPH SABRAW.
Peace out.